And just a few, yeah, perfect. All right, everyone. So we're here tonight for Content Planning Working Zoom. We're going to get started. So basically, a few things that I want to talk about tonight. I want to talk about how to format your posts so that you get people to read through your post a little bit easier, okay? So there are things that will discourage people from reading through your posts, all right? And this is just from a nice aesthetic and also okay, I don't know if you guys know this, but I have a bachelor's degree in English and French literature. I've actually went to school for writing. So here's the thing is that there's a few things that will discourage someone from reading through. Fonts that you choose will be something that people will get discouraged from reading through, all right? And I say this because I've seen multiple people do it, all right? So basically you choose, so here's the thing. Fonts, Facebook fonts, where you go ahead and you choose a font from whatever platform, it's good whenever you want to emphasize a word, but you want to choose a font that is easy to read, that's bold, right? And so you don't want to choose a cursive font. You don't want to choose a font that is there's fonts that people get annoyed with. People get annoyed with and people actually disconnect with whenever they see it. The Facebook font is a great font to start with, right? But if you want certain words emphasis or a certain sentence emphasis, like a quote or a question that you're asking people and you want to draw people's attention to it, you can go ahead and use one of those Facebook fonts for sure to add that. So I go on, I just Google Facebook fonts or Instagram fonts, and I go ahead and I use the fonts from there and I'll copy and paste it. So let me see if I can just find the one that I use quickly. It's called Lingo Jam. lingojam.com/Facebook fonts. And basically in there, you can write your text normally, and then you'll see the fancy font on the right. And I want you to go towards the one that looks the most normal, but in bold. Right? Go to the one that looks in bold. And then the other thing is whenever you're writing your post, and I've seen a lot of people do very well with this on our team, I find, but basically you want to break up, okay, every single idea into just a little tiny, you don't want to go more than a few sentences in a paragraph. You want to bring the person down. You want the person to click the more button and want to keep reading, right? But if you leave it all bunched up together, they're not going to want to click more. They're going to get lost in here. So what you want to do is you want to bring them down, right? So every idea has its own space, right? And what I've noticed actually just recently is that Facebook is bunching them up now. Okay, they're bunching them up. So usually you would be able to put your spaces in and it would just leave it as is. And now Instagram, you can do that. You don't even have to go and use a Instagram generator for spaces now, but Facebook now is the one that bunches them all up. So now we have to come up with interesting ways. One way that I did do was put a dot between my thoughts, right? And so that seemed to space things out well. You can test it, see how it goes. You don't want to edit your post too often, right? So if you go ahead and you post, you don't want to go ahead and change your post if you don't have to. So make sure that you read through your post before you post. All right. The more changes that you make, the more Facebook doesn't really like that, or Instagram even. So you want to try to make the less amount of changes that you can. If you really have to, then you can do that. And one more thing I'm going to share with you guys tonight, just as a little tip, is you want to go ahead and make sure that whenever you're posting on Instagram, if you're using hashtags, all right, everyone should be using hashtags. Please use hashtags. It's like the free search generator that you have that people can search on Instagram and find you, right? It's free. You don't have to pay anything for people to search and find you using hashtags. So you want to make sure that if you're posting them, you can post them separately from your text, or you can post them with your text. You want to make sure that if you're posting them separately, that you're literally posting them right after you posted. You're not even, I think you get 1 minute between the time that you post your post and you actually post your hashtags for Instagram to be okay with it. If it takes longer than that to post your hashtags, you're not going to get the same effect as if you posted it with your caption or within that 1 minute. All right. The other thing is, please use all your hashtags. Okay, you get 30 use them all, see how you perform with 30 and use that for about like a month. And then after that, if you're like, okay, I want to test out how I do with 29 hashtags or 28 hashtags, you can do that. Some accounts do better with less hashtags. Okay. But start with 30 and see how you do with 30 for a month. All right. And yes, it's hard to come up with your hashtags. Yes, it is. Okay. You want to go ahead and create a list of hashtags that you go for. You don't want to use the same ones every single day, but you do want to stay within your niche. All right. And what's our niche? Health and wellness, business, right? If you're a mom, it's mom. If you're like, think about the person that you're reaching, right? For me, it's a millennial, a millennial who doesn't have kids yet. But I could also be speaking to mom sometimes because I'm speaking to that tired millennial mom, right? Or the you know, and sometimes, yes, I'm going to have a hashtag that says millennial mom or whatever it is, right? So, I mean, even though I'm not a millennial mom, right? Not yet. But that being said, you want to go ahead and think about who you're trying to reach and use the hashtags that that person is using. All right. So I hope those were good tips that I just, yeah. So it bunches them together. Also, if you make edits in the post before submitting. Yeah. Is there a list of hashtags we should use to keep consistent? Don't use the same ones every single day. The best thing to do is go ahead and research accounts that that you're drawn to or that your avatar would be watching, and then you look at the hashtags that you're using. You don't want to use a hashtag that's like, here's the thing, I heard so many different things about hashtags. The best performing hashtags for me personally, and what I've tried and what I've seen other people try and have a lot of success with, is whenever they're between 10,000 to 800K. Okay. As soon as you're going over that, it's so saturated. You're going into like, it's not so saturated, but you're going into where the hashtag is being used so often that it's going through so fast. And so your post is going to be like, if you even show up on there, it's going to be like turned around so fast that you won't even like, people won't even have a chance to go ahead and check it out. I would say, honestly, if you're going towards the, like, if you want to go in the millions, go 1.5 max. Right. Okay. Yeah, I have 4 or 6 sets of hashtags that go with my bucket brand. That's awesome. That is amazing. Like, yes, I love that. So 4 to 6 different sets. And then you want to have different ideas, like picture ideas as well when you're using Instagram. Anyways, we could go into a whole training on this, but basically like picture ideas and all that stuff. Like, okay, we'll go through this another day because I feel like this is like, we're going into some really, some more stuff. But I think, what do I mean by the number? So whenever you search a hashtag, you're going to see a number right under that hashtag. And so that number is what I'm talking about. So it's like you're looking for a number that is not more than 800K. That is what I've been given. And honestly, I've been using that and I've been showing up in the Explorer often. So you want to go ahead and look at those. So as soon as you go on Instagram, you'll see them. Really, really, really cool. Anyways, okay, so let's move on to our content planning. What do we have this week? So we've got the 12 days of giving happening in our customer groups. Very, very important that you're in your stories talking about it and all that good stuff. I know that a lot of you are also doing your own 12 days of giving. Kelly, thank you for that idea. That was a wonderful idea. And so I'm going to be working on, and I'm giving you guys things, you take whatever you need, okay? Whatever works for you. So I'm going to be in my stories talking about 12 days of giving and potentially even doing my own. I'm checking to see if my audience will respond to that. So I went and I took a poll in my stories and said, hey, would you guys like something like a 12 days of giving? I'm checking to see if they're going to participate, right? Getting them engaged prior to it to see what's going on. Because I also want to know that if I put the work into it, they're going to show up. But at the same time, it's a really, really good idea to go ahead and get their engagement going into your stories. And it doesn't have to be huge prizes. It really doesn't. It can be very simple. I mean, Kelly shared what her prize is today. It's fantastic. It's like cards with like, what do you call those? Like motivational cards that you're giving out?
Yeah, they're like 101 encouragement messages. And the gift is $5.
$5. There you go. You're good to go. What I love about Amazon is the fact that you can send it directly to the person. So I don't even have to get it sent over here and then, you know. Unless you want to do that, that's totally cool too. But you know what I mean? So here's the thing is that a giveaway can be very simple. It can be very simple. So it can be anything just anything. So, okay, that's number one. Number two, if you can't do giveaways, you have the group that you can use for that. All right. So talk about it in your stories every single day. Would I do a post about it every single day? No. Right? No, I wouldn't necessarily do a post about the giveaways happening every single day, because you don't want your audience to be like, oh my gosh, not one of these again. Because you're going to have some people that are going to want to be in the giveaway and some people that won't. Right? So you want to go ahead and have at least maybe one post where you're like, listen, we're having this incredible giveaway happening. Maybe one written post, one live video, right? Where you're giving some value. And at the end of the live video, you say, you know what? Some of my friends and I were doing this awesome 12 days of giveaways happening in our incredible health and wellness exclusive Facebook group, right? Talk about health and wellness, talk about the fact, all the value that we give in that group, drop and your favorite emoji if you want to be a part of it. Because at the end of a live video, guys, even after you've given so much value, you can tell them what to do. You can give them a write up like call to action, you know what I mean? Where you're saying, this is what I want you to do next, right? So you can do that. So anyways, in your stories every single day about it, and then one written post, and then space it out a few days, and then have a live video, or a live video, space it out a few days with other content, and then a written post, right? I'm so excited. So many people are winning incredible giveaways, and the person yesterday won this, this has done, this is what's up for grabs today. Or you could just write the question, the holiday question, and just say, if you could, I actually wrote this, I said, if you could answer a holiday question or a holiday themed question and be entered to win prizes, would you do it? And I had people say, yes. Message them and said, hey, this is happening in this group. Do you want it? Yes. Okay, perfect. And I put them in the group. And every single day I'm in that group, tagging them in the giveaway. I don't assume that the person is going to check into the group every single day. I do it for them. I check in, tag them for them, right? Because we're serving them. So the more that you can guide them and hold their hand throughout that entire 12 days of giving, the better it is. All right. So that's number one. Another thing I think Kelly shared, December 11th, National App Day. Cool. I love that. Share your favorite app. That's a great engagement post. That's also a post where you can go ahead and offer some value, right? Here's my favorite water app. Here's my favorite this app. Here's my favorite motivational, I am affirmation app, so on and so forth. It's free. What's your favorite app, right? Great to get people engaged, great to build connection, and great also to give value if you wanted to. All right. I love these national days. Love them. They're always so good. Okay, so what else could we do? I always do a live every single week. Every single week I show up live at the same time. I think it's really, really good for you to do so. Sometimes I don't have anyone showing up on my live. Sometimes I have a few people, but I have a lot of people watching on replay, right? And the more that you do it, the more that you show up, the more people know to find you at that time. Sometimes it can take up to 3, 4, or 5 months for people to know, like, okay, yeah, they're live this day at this time every single week. And you show up and you talk about, you give value, you give pointers, you give tips, hacks, you talk about something funny that happened in your, whatever it is, right? Yes, car bonuses get paid tomorrow. That's great. And what you can do is, if you don't have a car bonus yet, you can go ahead and share someone's story who had it. And here's something I want to talk to you guys about. Curiosity, building curiosity about something. Like, whenever you're talking about someone having a car bonus, just say, like, this person, this is what they do. So let's take Melissa, my friend Melissa Watkins. She has a car bonus. She's a police officer, a mother of one, right? So I would talk about the fact that, she was looking for something for her, right? For her that she could do. And she fell in love with the products, right? With the health and wellness products, she fell in love with it. She saw what it did for herself, for her life, for her mood, right? And all of that stuff. And because of that, she started to share. And then she earned herself a car bonus, which has been a huge blessing for her and her family, and has actually, she was able to go ahead, and her dream is to go and get one of those vans and then convert it into a tiny home, right? So you can share a story like that. Like, how incredible is that, right? You're like, oh, that's so cool. This person wants a tiny home. Now, do I mention Thrive in there? I could, right? I talk about how they love the products and they love these 3-step supplements and how it changed their lives. But my goal whenever I share a car bonus thing is to draw in someone and saying, like, how did they earn this car for free? Like, how did this happen? Like, how did this happen? Tell me more about this. Like, what? What? So maybe you could go and like learn what other people's stories are and then share their story, right? Without like saying thrive, 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 thrive. You can say thrive, but you just have to say it in a way that still builds curiosity, right? I like to use 3-step supplement system. I like to use morning routine, all of that stuff, right? So you gotta look at what works best for you. Try it without saying thrive, and then try it with saying thrive, and see what works best for you and your audience. All right. Okay. Another idea that you had, Kelly, was, yeah, shout one of our new people out if you have not earned your car yet. Yeah, exactly. Oh, Donair Day tomorrow, like shawarmas. Oh, so good. Over here we have like shawarmas. Like in Canada, like you could go, like I could go down the road and I find a shawarma place. Like I don't know. But treat meal, yeah, for sure, treat meal. Yeah, and especially the holiday season coming, right? For sure. And also, I'll tell you guys, like right now, people are starting to think a little bit about like 2021. It's coming up. It's right around the corner, right? And people, here's the thing, there's this huge energy shift in people during this time, this season. People are like feeling the magic in the air. They're feeling good right now. It's holiday season. And then after that, there's this whole entire feeling of change. What do people want to change first? Finances and health, right? So if you can go ahead and offer some value on that, oh my gosh, like how to set a goal, how to go ahead and go for your goal, how to believe in yourself to go for it, right? Mindset that it takes, right? And then ask them about their goals. Ask them about what they're going for, right? Ask them what's stopping them from being their best self. Talk about them. Ask them questions. What's your biggest 2021 goal? Get them talking, see what their responses are, and then write a post about it. All right? Kind of like you're doing market research for your audience, right? So anyways, I hope those were good ideas, and that you've got tons of ideas right now for content writing. We've got some time to go ahead and start. We've got about 40 minutes. We're going to get writing. So get a pen and paper out, or get your Trello board out, or get whatever you use out. And right now we're going to focus. We're going to get down to business and get writing. All right? I want you to think about engaging your audience, asking questions, building the know, like, and trust. All right? Okay. And if you guys want some feedback, you know where to put it in the chat, or just open your mic. Happy writing. Okay, so I just saw a question. How many times a day do you normally post? So on Instagram, I only post 3 to 5 times a week. So if you think about it, you could literally sit down on a weekend and plan out what your content would be for the entire month. You could do like, if you plan out 3 good pieces of content, quality content. You don't want filler content on Instagram. You want quality content. You could literally plan out, you only need 12 posts, right? 12 quality posts if you're doing 3 a week. And then if you're doing 5, well, that's a little bit more. But that being said, on Instagram, that's that. On Facebook, I do once a week, sometimes once a day, not a week. Oh my God. Once a day on Facebook. And some days I do 2. And then some weekends I don't post on one day. I'll post in my stories though. I'll be very active in my stories. But so people used to post 3 times a day on Facebook, but I feel like with the algorithm that's changed recently, your posts will perform best if you do like 1, maximum 2, but you spread them out. So you'll do like 1 in the morning and 1 in the evening. So for example, this morning I did one very, very early, right? And then I did a live video at 8 p.m. Eastern time on Mondays. So like there's certain days where I'll do that, but most of the days it's once a day in the morning. And people know that my post comes out in the morning now because I'm very consistent with that because of the working Zooms, right? So I hope that helps. How do I do the delayed post? So you mean like how do you schedule your posts? Okay, so scheduling your posts, you can only do that on Facebook groups. You can't do that on your Facebook page. They don't have an option for that. But you can do it on in your Facebook group if you have a Facebook group. And there's a little button at the bottom of your post whenever you're posting that says like schedule. It's like a little calendar, and then you can click it when you're in your group, and then you can schedule it like that. But on your profile, you can't schedule them. And I wouldn't recommend using a third party. No, I wouldn't recommend using an app for scheduling because Facebook will pick up on that. And Instagram, they'll know that it's coming from an outside source, and your engagement is going to be like Guys, make sure to check the chat. Kelly just laid out like how her week is. I love that. I'm gonna copy paste it and save that. She has great ideas. Make sure to do that too, eh? Don't just leave it there because it's gonna disappear, guys. It's gonna disappear. Okay, I have some questions here. If you use Unfold, do you save the pages to your phone and then just upload them as a story or post when you're ready? Yeah, so as soon as I use Unfold, what I do is I save them to my phone and then I upload them as stories. I don't use them for posts because for posts, usually the Unfold template is longer, so you won't get the full picture in your post. So my suggestion is to use them for stories for sure, and to just upload them whenever, yeah. Oh, Unfold is incredible. It's incredible. I have to do that training. I have to pick a date where I can go ahead and do that training for you guys. It's incredible. Amazing. You can literally, you pick a picture. So let's say you have a graphic in United We Thrive, right? The 12 days of giveaway. And then you save that to your phone. You go and Unfold, you choose a template, upload the picture on there, choose a color for your background, type in some, a text, and then you're good to go. So much fun. Yeah. Yeah. And then here's the other thing I was thinking of, Kelly, is that next year for Black Friday, we're going to have all of those done. Yeah. And,
I started using Unfold last November, and I have been able to reuse, I reused my Black Friday story from last year. I have some stuff for New Year's coming up. You just sort of tweak it, and they're going to get better because I've been using it for a while, but yeah, over and over. You guys, once you start using Unfold, you can save them. You can have a testimonial one and you can just select things. You just keep building on it. I mean, you can just create so much.
Yeah. So in the app, it'll stay there. It will never disappear. It's amazing. You can recycle it and reuse it and repurpose it. So really, guys, you only have to do a year of hard work for your for your story creation, stuff like that, right? And I believe it's free too, right? It's free. And then they give you certain templates, but then you can pay to get more templates if you wanted to unlock the entire feature. Very similar to a lot of different apps out there. Okay, what was I doing? If you guys just came in, we're working on content creation. So basically what you're doing is you're writing your content for the week ahead. Kelly shared, we shared some really great tips at the beginning. And we actually recorded this one, so you'll be able to catch it in United We Thrive. That is what Kelly shared for her week and how she lays it out. Love that. Kind of like the themes of the day. So right now we have 20 minutes left to write some content. So you can at least get tomorrow's post up and ready. And then and start working on your next post ideas. At least your ideas, your big ideas, so that whenever it comes to writing it, you know where you're going. Wellness Wednesday, Wisdom Wednesday. What's the national day on Wednesday?
Thank you. I'm having COVID brain or something.
Oh, no worries. Oh my gosh. We're all here to help each other. Wednesday, 9 December. National Brownie Day. Wait, is that on Wednesday, the December 9th? It doesn't say the day. Wait. Oh, I found this great website. I don't know if this is the one you use, but it's pretty fantastic. Oh, National Brownie Day is tomorrow. Christmas Card Day, National Pastry Day, National Llama Day. Llamas. I don't know why they make me smile. I don't know. Okay, but anyways, yeah. I love Wealth Wednesday. I really do. Or Workout Wednesday. Mm-hmm. That's okay. That's okay. Sometimes we forget about those things, right? It just happens. It's like writer's block. Okay. So you actually don't want to talk thrive each time. You want like 20% of the time to be when you're talking about thrive or business. The other 80%, here's the thing is that you can kind of talk about it without talking about it, in the other 80% that you're doing. But most of the time, like you have other content, and I definitely suggest that you take a look at the bucket content planning video that I did for boot camp there. It's in United We Thrive. And in there, I talk about like all the different buckets of content that you could be using. And here's the thing, you want to build a connection with the people who are following you. You want to network with them. You want to get to know them. You want them to get to know you, because people buy from people that they know, like, and trust. And yes, you do want to, like, sometimes you'll say like, oh, self-care is really important to me. Let's say you're doing a weekend post. Self-care is something that is so important. I encourage you to do self-care, because you're always talking about the person that you're speaking to, your audience, because you always want to be like, it's not about you in the end, right? You're sharing about your life, yes, right? And you're sharing about you, but it's how it affects them. Does that make sense? So like, why is it important for them to look at, like, what will Thrive bring them, right? What will the business bring them? And, whenever you're thinking about sharing that, it's always about how does it benefit them? Does that help a little bit? Definitely start with the buckets, the content buckets, go from there. I did the video on the buckets. Hey, was it last week? I think it was last week. Last week on Wednesday. Let me try to find it. It's not letting me reload.